a member of the Budget Committee in the National Assembly, which is the Senate, and a member who's in the Opposition Committee in the Senate. I am shocked and surprised just the way my friend Honorable Steve Mogaka said and my colleagues who are here. We have been raising issues about our country, and we hope, personally I've been hoping that somebody would have listened to what some of us are saying. Let me now tell you what Ms. Nyakango has done. She basically came out and said the store has been broken into and the money is being taken. She said it. You guys are members of the media. So you heard her say so. The consolidated fund is now easily accessibly available. The controller of budgets has no access to it. What we are talking about is that people who are doing their jobs are now being victimized and are now being taken to court. In fact, some of us who are critics of the government are expecting to be taken to court. Can they hurry up and come and get some of us quickly? Because we are not going to stop this nonsense. We will talk about the issues, we will raise them. Madam Nyakango has been saying it. We are mismanaging our finances and we are mismanaging our country. In a very polite way. I called one of my friends who is in leadership in the House. And I told him, what is that nonsense I saw? That was last week. He told me, and he sent me a message. He said, tell her to stop talking too much. What do you mean you tell her to stop talking too much? Some of us talk too much. You can't stop me. That's the job I have. I'm going to tell this government over and over and over that the things which you're accusing Ms. Nyakango of doing, that is the job you gave her.
End of the waters, and that is not good. Junet, I hope you are not wanting to speak on this. If you start discussing the case, I will stop you.
No, Mr. Speaker, I will not discuss the case. And also, I want to assure you that we are not here to defend anyone. But, Mr. Speaker, having had consultation with the minority leader, I wanted to bring out a perspective. Mr. Speaker, as a senior lawyer, you are aware that the constitutional officers and independent officers report to this House, Mr. Speaker. This is where they report to. They don't report to the executive, they don't report to the judiciary. So we are addressing this issue in a holistic manner because Margaret Nyakango will not be the last person or the last constitutional office holder that will be prosecuted or will be charged. There are others who are going to come after her maybe. So we wanted, as a matter of national concern, how do we address as a country when a constitutional office holder is charged? The issue the minority leader was raising is, are the provisions in the Constitution in terms of removal of a constitutional office holder, removal of office, are they suspended when they are prosecuted? That is one of the major issues he was trying to point out. Because as the majority leader has said, he's also a constitutional office holder. But the constitutional does not provide in any way his removal. It's provided in the standing orders.
You are also whistling in the dark, my friend.
No, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. But what made me also, Mr. Speaker, last night have sleepless night, Mr. Speaker, this lady that has been charged, and also we have to look at things retrospectively. As a House, we passed this lady here, and I participated in 2019 in passing her as the controller of budget, Mr. Speaker, after a thorough vetting by the Committee of Finance, Mr. Speaker. Didn't we know that she had a case at that point in time? What indictment is that making on us as Parliament, Mr. Speaker? Because she came with documents from relevant organizations that deal with criminal offenses, Mr. Speaker, the ESCC, the DCI, and here 3 years later, issues come up and you are told that 7 years later, you are told that she had a matter pending either in somewhere, the money that she has stolen. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, the issue that you are being invited, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, as the Speaker of this House, as you ruled, it is true, we have no role in this matter now because it's before the court. But as the Speaker of this House, Mr. Speaker, you have a constitutional mandate to defend and protect the Constitution, and especially constitutional office holders. It is the Speaker who can defend them, Mr. Speaker. And secondly, and more important, Mr. Speaker, the issue that has been raised in this country yesterday. Issues of weighty matter, control of budget, Mr. Speaker, you remember a long time. It used to be auditor and controller. There is a reason why the two officers were separated under the new constitution. Otherwise, we should remain just like the old. Mr. Speaker, I submit. I have said what I want.
I'm still at a total loss as to what you people want. Honorable members, let's not prejudice Dr. Nyakango's case. That's number one. Number two, if what Honorable Wandai is alleging, and he has evidence to show to the Speaker, then the Speaker will have some locus on the matter. As it is now, I have absolutely no locus. I have no information that...
And just for your interest, there is nothing called witch hunt in this whole thing. Nyakango comes from my neighboring county, but in Nyamira, and I come from Kisii. And I'm on record in the floor of the House having said that it's important for people who go for independent offices, get to know their code of conduct and read it and understand it. One cannot use coercion as an excuse to hide, their faces. And at no given time did the control of budget raise that issue until it came in the budget making process and the audit and in the National Assembly. Had she talked about it immediately, even after elections, and raised it without casting aspersions and blame games and stuff like that, and finding some scapegoats, then I think we would have looked at her differently. It's at this point that Kenyans must know that let each person learn to carry their own cross. And we are going to start a process of removing Nyakango from office through legal means and legal channels, and that is the National Assembly. We've got to have people who are straight to run offices. I mean, really, 16 billion is not 2 shillings. Right now, members of parliament are suffering. They have not gotten national government NGCDF for purposes of bursaries. Kenyans are starving. You all know what is happening. Projects have stalled. You can imagine what 16 billion can do to this country. You can imagine. Right now, the judiciary is also, crawling. They cannot hire new judges. There are backlog cases, in court, and prisons are full with people, and matters are supposed to be fast-tracked for purposes of completion and everything. Kenya is not really doing very well, and I think we consider Nyakango as a whistleblower and a victim and also a culprit in this whole thing. So she's got to choose which side she'll take, whether to be a culprit, victim. Of course, she's just a victim as a Kenyan, because she's also fallen prey of such whole mess. And she mentions all the names that were involved, and I don't think it's only the finance minister, the former finance minister, is involved. This whole thing is a scheme. Who are the owners of these companies that were paid? Where is maize, that was paid for in terms of subsidy? Where is it? Because you paid 4 billion, 4 days to elections. Where is that maize that you paid for? Which company? And who are the owners of those companies? Where are they located? Who are they? Besides the directions by Ukuru Atan, who else gave the directions? How do they cover this money? And by the way, that is the tip. It's just a tip. If the whole thing is given in black and white, you'll be surprised. That is what happened in about 3 days to elections. Whatever happened within a month to elections will shock Kenyans. And even immediately after elections, after the declaration of results, the drama that you saw, in Bomas and everything, people were just buying time to steal. And Nyakango was still in office. She still approved some payments, even immediately after elections. Was she still under coercion immediately after elections? Had she not known that there was a regime change? Had she not known there is a president-elect immediately after elections? Like you still approved payments about within 2 weeks when the case was in the Supreme Court. So people were just playing games with us. And that is why you see the Honorable Raila Odinga complaining, left, right, and center. He's actually not defending Kenyans. His interest is about trying to twist people's minds so that they can really not raise issues about the billions that have been lost. They want, he's actually the owner of this dog.